This is about the history of the bass guitar. My name is Simeon Chien, and I hope you enjoy this PowerPoint presentation. So what is a bass guitar? Well, a bass guitar is a type of guitar that has a lower pitch in comparison to a guitar, so therefore it's a low pitch instrument. It's a plucked string instrument and has a longer neck than a normal guitar. Most bass guitars come with 4 strings, which is the popular brand, but other bass guitars can come with 5 or 6 strings. The modern bass was, the very first bass was invented in the 1930s, but still it was not popular until the 1950s then, and it is simply known as the electric bass or the electric bass guitar. So the birth of the bass guitar, this is the history about it. So in the 1930s, Paul Tutmark had developed the first electric bass guitar, but it was actually still not popular until the 1950s because jazz was still around at that time, and still the upright string bass was being used at that time. However, in the 1950s, Leo Fender developed the bass guitar, which was simply known as the precision bass as we know today. And of course, around that time, the double bass was still being used in the 20th century during the origin of jazz music, because it was still being used at that time. Now, the good thing about the bass guitar was it's a more portable instrument in comparison to the upright bass, because it meant that it was easier for players to transport the instruments and gigs, because the upright bass would be a pain to carry, especially that they're so huge, and this means that they have another option. Now, frets were added to the bass guitar because whereas on the upright bass there are no frets, so now with the bass guitar it was easier to play in tune because of the frets, which is why Leo Fender came up with the word precision for the first bass. And bass guitars were used in modern popular music, such as rock and roll, soul, R&B, funk, reggae, and heavy metal. Famous bass guitar brands here, we've got the Fender Precision Bass, as I've said. We've also got the Fender Jazz Bass, the Rickenbacker 4003, or in other words 4003, Gibson SG Bass, Martin BC 16A acoustic bass guitar, Fender Jazz fretless bass, Ernie Ball, Music Man Stingray 5-string bass, and of course we've got the Kala bass ukulele. And here we're moving on to some famous bass amplifier brands. And here we've got the Fender Bassman, Acoustic 360, Chase Elliott AH Series, Ampeg Flip Top, Ampeg SVT, Hotkey High Drive, and Mesa Boogie Bass 400. Genres used on the bass guitar include rock, pop, jazz, soul, R&B, funk, reggae, metal, and blues. And famous bass guitar players here include James Jamerson, Paul McCartney, Victor Wooten, Marcus Miller, Jaco Pastorius, Larry Graham, Mark King, and Anthony Jackson. And that's the end of the PowerPoint presentation. So if you've got any comments or any questions you want to ask, please comment or message. Thank you.